The MLB is spicing things up with humongous bases, a zippy pitch clock, and sneaky defensive shift limits. Thanks to the Joint Competition Committee, we're in for a roller coaster of faster games, non-stop action, and safer plays. There's no robot umps yet, but who knows what the future holds. Let the wild times begin in 2023. Before diving in, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more MLB updates and analysis. The 2023 MLB season introduces 3 major rules transforming the game. For this first change, there's now a defensive shift restriction which ensures infielders maintain position, which emphasizes players' skills. For this second change, there's now a pitch clock which accelerates game tempo, penalizing time-consuming players. For this third change, there's now bigger 18-inch bases, which is an increase of 3 inches to promote safety in aggressive plays. These changes aim to create a safer, faster, more engaging baseball experience, focusing on player abilities and delivering heightened excitement for fans and players alike. These new rules were first tested in the minor leagues, and after careful evaluation, they have been deemed ready for implementation in the 2023 MLB season. As the sport of baseball embarks on this new chapter, players and fans can expect a more engaging, fast-paced, and safer experience. The innovative Joint Competition Committee, a group that seems like an exclusive assembly dedicated to enhancing the excitement of sports, has given the green light to 3 significant rule amendments. But hey, don't worry just yet. Robot umps aren't being introduced right now. But here's a simple overview of the upcoming changes. First up, they've introduced a 30-second timer between batters. This means players have to be ready to step up to the plate and keep the game moving. But that's not all. The time between pitches has also been reduced. When there are no runners on base, pitchers have just 15 seconds to deliver the ball. When there are runners on base, they get just a whopping 20 seconds. The impact of these changes has been nothing short of phenomenal. The average Major League Baseball game has been shortened by just about 26 minutes. That's almost half of an inning saved, just by speeding things up a bit. Another interesting change has to do with restricting throws to first base. This tweak has led to a substantial increase in stolen base attempts. In fact, the number of successful steal attempts per game in the minors has skyrocketed by an amazing 77% due to this rule change. That's right, it jumped from 2.23 in 2019 to 2.83 in 2022. Isn't that incredible? Now let's talk about the pressure on pitchers and batters. The pitcher has to start their delivery before the pitch clock runs out, or they'll be penalized with an automatic ball. Batters aren't off the hook either. They need to be quick on their feet or they'll face the consequences. If a batter takes longer than the allotted time between each pitch, they'll be called out. Moreover, it'll be called a strike if they're not in the batter's box and looking at the pitcher within the first 8 seconds of the pitch. There are some additional rules to ensure the game stays fast-paced and exciting. The clock resets when the pitcher leaves the rubber to attempt to pick off or when runners are on base. Pitchers are only allowed 2 disengagements per plate appearance, like pickoff attempts or step-offs. However, the limit resets if a runner or runners advance during a batter's at-bat. If the catcher fails to tag the runner 3 times, the runner gets the green light to advance to a base. But the game also accommodates some exceptions. Disengagement doesn't occur during the pitcher's mound visits, injury timeouts, or the batting team's timeout. If a team has used up all 5 of its mound visits before the 9th inning, they're granted an additional visit. The referees also have the power to add extra time to the game if they feel it's warranted. For instance, an umpire might give a catcher who was thrown out at the plate a few extra seconds to put on their catching gear before the start of the current half inning. It's essential to note that there's a slight difference between MLB and minor league rules for the upcoming season. The minors will have a 14-second clock with no runners on base and either an 18-second for AA and lower or 19-second for AAA clock with runners on base. This timer won't reset if a runner advances. And there's an average of 45 violations per game. The defensive movements have also undergone some modifications. In order to qualify as a defensive team, 2 infielders must be in complete coverage on both sides of second base. These rules are designed to restore more typical outcomes when a batter hits the ball. It's also to increase the batting average on balls in play and showcase the athleticism of infielders. The batting average on balls was projected to drop by 6 points between 2012 and 2022, and by 10 points between 2006 and 2022. All 4 infielders are required to be on the infield dirt when the pitcher is on the mound. Additionally, no one in the infield is allowed to change sides. This prevents the defense from shifting its best player to a particular side of the infield if the batter consistently hits the ball in that direction. If the infielders aren't in the correct positions before the pitch, the batting team gets to choose between taking an automatic ball or having the play go the other way. However, interestingly, this rule doesn't stop an outfielder from positioning themselves in the infield or on the short grass in the outfield. However, formations with 4 outfielders are strictly forbidden. Now let's talk about the changes to the field itself. The bases are getting a significant size upgrade, increasing from the standard 15-inch square to a more substantial 18-inch square. This change is intended to give players more room to maneuver and reduce the likelihood of collisions. It could also have a minor impact on the percentage of successful stolen base attempts. This extra space is particularly important when a fielder is at first base, as they'll have an additional 3 inches of space between themselves and the base runner when making a throw. As a result of the larger bases, the distance from first to second base and the distance from second to third base will be shortened by 4.5 inches. This change might help reduce the prevalence of oversliding, which occurs when a player loses contact with the bag as they slide through it. Players will need to adjust their techniques to account for the new dimensions and avoid sliding past the base. These changes to the game of baseball are expected to impact the game's pace and excitement significantly. With the game moving more quickly and the field dimensions changing, players and teams will need to adapt their strategies and techniques to stay competitive. Fans can look forward to faster, more action-packed games filled with thrilling plays, incredible athleticism, and high-stakes moments. Before implementing these changes in the major leagues, the MLB wisely chose to test the new rules in the minors. This trial period allowed them to identify any potential issues and fine-tune the regulations for optimal performance. With the success of these tests, the MLB is now confident in rolling out these exciting new rules for the 2023 season, setting the stage for what could be an insane and exciting baseball season. Of course, we can't discuss these new rules without addressing their impact on player safety and promoting more stealing. In fact, the pitch clock serves as the perfect segue into this topic. One key reason behind implementing these new rules is to improve player safety while increasing the excitement of the game. For instance, the larger bases speed up the game and reduce the likelihood of collisions at first base. With more space to maneuver, players can avoid dangerous encounters while still giving it their all on the field. This is a crucial consideration for the sport as it aims to maintain its competitive spirit without compromising the well-being of its athletes. Moreover, these changes are encouraging more stealing, as seen in the increased amount of stolen base attempts. As we mentioned earlier, the number of successful steal attempts per game in the minors has increased by a staggering 77% due to these rule changes. To put that into perspective, the number jumped from 2.23 in 2019 to 2.83 in 2022. When comparing this year's stolen base numbers to last year, we can clearly see the impact of these rule modifications on the game. By making it easier to steal bases, these changes create more thrilling gameplay and showcase players' incredible athleticism and agility. The audience gets to witness breathtaking moments as players attempt daring steals while infielders strive to outsmart and outmaneuver them. This heightened excitement boosts fan engagement and adds a new layer of strategy to the game, as teams must reevaluate their tactics in response to these alterations. The new rules in baseball are designed to help preserve player safety and promote a more engaging, fast-paced game. The pitch clock, larger bases, and adjustments to the defensive movements all contribute to this goal, resulting in a sport that's more thrilling for fans and players alike. As the game continues to evolve, we can expect even more breathtaking plays, daring steals, and unforgettable moments on the field. The future of baseball is brighter than ever, and we can't wait to see how it unfolds. And that's just about it for this one. Will our favorite teams rise to the challenge and adapt to the new rules, or will they struggle to keep up with the fast-paced changes? Let us know in the comments. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.